All right, it's 7:45 on this Wednesday morning. Our good friend Joe Coughlin from 22nd Century Media is here this morning to talk about some cool stories happening outside of the city. We like to call here the Blurbs from the Burbs. Joe, good morning. How you doing?
Great. How are you?
Happy Wednesday to you.
Same to you.
So let's jump right in. Let's talk about a woman here locally doing some good things for some kids in Africa.
Right, sure. And we're going to start with a little history lesson. You know, children's museums came around at the turn of the 20th century, right at 1899 in New York. They really started to get popular really in the late 20th century, though, and then they started to grow in other countries and really across the United States. Glenview got one with the Glenview Coles Children's Museum, and that's where Tricia Spiegel really got into children's museums as a kid. She grew up in Glenview, so now she's in Africa. The whole continent of Africa does not have a children's museum, but that's going to change because of Tricia Spiegel's team, and that's called Play Africa. So there's some renderings here of what it could look like. They're still in the development stages, but she's in Johannesburg, South Africa, and they're going to build the first ever children's museum in Africa on the whole continent.
Because of what she is doing from Glenview.
She's part of the team, absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really a cool story and in development stages, and it should be up soon.
Great story there. Now let's talk about what you call the end of an era there in Tinley Park.
It really is. You know, that term's overused, but it really is. When Mayor Ed Zabrocki just held his last meeting, he chiefed his last meeting in Tinley Park. He's been mayor for 34 years, one of the longest tenured in the state of Illinois, and one of the longest tenured in the country, to be honest, one of the top 10 in the country. Been there since 1981, and he resigned earlier this year because of health reasons. So it was really a sad thing. Tons of people came out to his final meeting to wish him farewell. You know, trustees, residents, everybody. I mean, he's been really a true steward for the community. And me personally, I've worked with him for a little while when I was the Tinley Park editor of the Tinley Junction. And I just want to say, Mayor Ed, you know, best luck to you and your family, health, and you know, all the best from us at 22nd Century Media.
Good deal, good deal. Now let's talk about a woman who's gone to social media looking for a kidney.
Absolutely. We live in the digital age, and it can save lives. And Michelle Doyle proved it out of New Lenox. She has a genetic kidney disease that she was diagnosed with in 1992. She's been enduring it since then, but in 2012, it really started to wear her down, and she had to have an operation to remove both her kidneys.
Wow.
Yeah, and she had to be on dialysis since then. And she wasn't having a great deal of luck getting on the registry, you know, to get a donor.
That list, it could take years.
It could take years, and she wasn't having luck with her family getting a match. So, you know, her surgeon at Loyola kind of scared her into fighting for her life. He said, you know, you got to do this yourself. You got to find some way to do it because you only got, you know, days left. And she went to Facebook through a friend of a friend. She found Kelly Launcher out of Ohio. Never met her before, never did anything, and she willingly donated a kidney. And it matched, and it worked, and it's good. And they've met and they've hung out a few times. Considers her sister, and it's now Michelle actually speaks at Loyola to other dialysis patients, telling them that you can fight and you can make it just like I did.
Still got a number of stories that you're working on, especially a woman from Wilmette who's doing good things in Nepal. Let's give everybody your web address because we're running out of time to talk about that this morning. So.
You can go to the WilmetteBeacon.com or the NewLenoxPatriot.com to get the last story about the most recent one. Kelsey Crowley is doing some great things in Nepal too with the earthquake, but check out all those websites.
Good deal. Joe